Welcome to another fabulous episode of the Fish and Corn Show. I was just saying corn. I look like a widower, you know.
Yeah, or like a Taliban chick.
But anyways, welcome to the show.
We really should do this in burqas.
Oh my God. We have.
I think it'd be funny.
Geez, you know when.
I don't think they make burqas my size, but
Don't kid yourself because.
some big women.
Well, you remember our friend that went to Egypt?
Uh-huh.
He's saying that there's actually stores that sell like we think of it when you order a burqa,
Uh-huh.
you know, internet, and you'd be able to get maybe a plain one here,
yeah.
but over there they have them in silk. You can have, I guess there's even
Really?
they have these like couture style, like there's a local corner shop they'll make you if you're a really rich one to wear a burqa.
I think I want to wear a really fancy burqa one day in public.
Silk.
Yeah,
Silk.
something stylish. See how many people react violently.
So, you know the Silk Road, speaking of which, this is kind of random corn. As far as the history thing is concerned, the Silk Road passed through India.
Are we talking? Oh, in the actual
The
Silk
actual
Road,
Silk Road.
not the
Herbs,
digital one that
spices.
you can buy.
No, not
example.
not the modern day one, but the old, you know.
I think the term Silk Road just applies to
Any
the
trade
trade
route?
routes that were used between east and west.
It from the farthest east was China, right?
Uh-huh.
Or does it go even more? Like Japan was part of it too, right?
Like I said, I think you're just referring to east-west trade routes. So, I mean, it's not like there's an on-ramp or an off-ramp going. It's
But when
that
you
way.
see, even when, because in ancient times when we talk about the Eastern world, I mean, well, as far as like, you know, the Middle East,
Uh-huh.
they had textiles, and I usually think of these scenes from movies, where you know there's the bazaars, the trade bazaars.
Mm-hmm.
When we think of them having silk, it goes back to the Orient. That shit was carried on a fucking camel's back, right?
Yeah.
Camels were the trains of the day, right?
Camels, horses, people, you know, whatever or whoever you got to strap shit on top of.
Interesting. And then this is where they, like, I remember a scene out of Gladiator. That's where they also carry, like, there's some stuff there. We also got some fighters on some fucking
Slaves, yes.
Yeah, fighting slaves. Keep them away from your wife, Caesar. That's what. But,
Back on that.
oh, geez. Speaking of which, last week on AMC, or was it History Channel, they had this one on Caligula. I remember the name, but I didn't know he was that debaucherous, sort of loved, and then ultimately fell apart. What the hell is that?
Japanese beetle.
Oh my God! It's smelling me again.
It's smelling you again.
The rice.
Oh, they're beautiful. Anyway, you were saying you didn't know that they were that fucked up?
Well, Caligula, the emperor.
I don't think it was particularly him that was all fucked up. I mean, think about it. You're a god. You're the top dude. And you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, I think
almost anybody's going to indulge their id at some point and go, fuck it. Remember, I can do whatever the hell I want.
That's true.
I mean, be honest with yourself. Wouldn't you engage in crazy shenanigans if you were omnipotent?
Yeah, I guess you know you'd be
Omnipotent and divine, so there isn't even
sort
the
of
threat of
untouchable.
God on top of you.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, before we came on, you know, we're gonna start the show here. Little stories for you, and one last story I was gonna tell Corn here. It we were talking about transgender people and how sometimes. Well, anyways, I'm gonna tell you this story.
Okay.
So, the fish.
Show me where he touched you.
Oh God, there's no touching, but it involved like 4 people, just myself, 3 Home Depot workers,
Uh-huh.
and it was just funny because what you can and say, I don't know. I mean, I could have been offended, but you know, it's funny. There were there was one guy I was talking to, and we went to go talk to some other Home Depot workers. And
What were you talking about?
About kitchen hoods because I'm remodeling the kitchen, sort of.
Right. So you're talking about purchasing a kitchen.
Yeah, but we started talking and kind of chumming around, and then the guy said, "You gotta go check over there," and he went like that, and the other worker, and this is some black guy who's doing that, telling me what to go get. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's one white guy, Home Depot worker, says, "Can you do that again?" And this point is funny. Yeah, that way. And the black guy said, "Oh, come on, whatever his name was. It's not like this."
Yeah, they're tapping on each other for this
Yeah.
gesticulation. Uh-huh.
And he did this, and then it was like this pause, and then me, the fish is, "Hey, there's a difference, And then everybody started laughing. You get it, because he was just telling me a signal over there to go over there.
Right.
It didn't look like,
instead of saying this, he went
like that, and the other guy was just kind of making fun.
right.
But you have to been there. If I were to be transgender or of that, I might get offended because I don't.
You see, that's what drives me crazy. Is why would you get offended?
That's the thing, is that we see this stuff all the time on the show. That I have friends that are, gay and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you do this chumming around with them. I don't understand some people.
Well, the thing is that.
I would like to talk about that one thing too. Also, Corn, the woman I told you about when we were cruising around last Monday, with the new arms wanting to ride a ride at Universal Studios.
Universal Studios, okay. Yeah, see, it goes back to that. It goes back to the fact that people that are in, conditions like that, who are handicapped or have mental things going on that prevent them from integrating into the greater society, have this need for acceptance for the rest of society to accommodate them. And to a certain degree, I agree. I mean, you shouldn't have to have a panic attack every time you need to go to the bathroom. Okay?
Yes.
You shouldn't have to do a number of things. But this woman complaining that the bus ride at the Universal Studios wouldn't let her on because she didn't have arms, and Universal Studios didn't want to let her on because she doesn't have arms, and she might get tousled around.
But she insisted.
That makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
And the thing is that people fail to see that it isn't about them.
It's about the greater need of the people.
Right.
They let her into the park.
Exactly. It's like you have to check your drama and realize that the rest of the planet,
I like you said the word drama.
Doesn't necessarily need to buy into your deal, okay? I mean, you have a right to be yourself. You don't have a right to change everyone else's perceptions of you.
Yeah, that's what
you don't get to control my mind.
Yeah. So that was what kind of is that what we're kind of going full circle talking about as far as being creeped out by or
right. If you get creeped out by somebody, well, that's.
I'm not afraid, but sometimes that's the thing. And sometimes if, like you said, they're coming on to you and the transgender talk we were having. And you get, not in a sense where you need to, for me, you to scream, but it's just like, oh, this is creepy.
Remember that one time we were at that one club and remember the dude that we used to hang out with? And we kept telling him, dude.
Filipino?
Yeah, the Filipino dude, cat we used to hang out with. Remember we told him that one time he got so sauced and he's making out with that dude?
What?
And I kept telling him, dude, he's a guy.
No.
That's a guy. He kept saying, no.
He was inebriated?
He was drunk as shit, and it's like...
He got taken advantage of.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that's a guy.
But let me tell you something. Props to our Filipino guy. That was what you would call... even from Reader and that City Beat magazine, one of the most famous transgender in San Diego.
It was still crazy.
Because you see him in the different, over the years and articles.
Again, the point is that was totally creepy. And people who find that creepy are well within their rights to find that creepy.
And get out of the situation.
And you shouldn't judge people if they're creeped out by that. In the same way that you shouldn't judge women that when they get creeped out by box turtle types. Mm-hmm. I mean, we find that perfectly socially acceptable for people to get creeped out by box turtle types, but it's completely unacceptable to get creeped out by transgenders. Why? We're still talking about people who have issues with the way they relate to themselves and the idea of sex and the idea of gender, right? They're
Yeah,
basically
and
the
you
same
can't complain.
basket
You
of
are right,
problems,
Corn.
right? But you can complain about one set of people, but you can't complain about the other set of
Yeah.
people. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
It
Maybe
does
I'm
not
just-
make sense. What's our time here, Corn? What's our time
I have
here?
no
Corn?
idea.
No, time on our clock here.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think we should get off the air.
You know this veil thing. It reminds me of like Prince in the Revolution, Fish in the Revolution.
I like
This is all purple rain.
Prince in the
Purple
Revolution.
rain.
You know, that dude was into some weird shit, dude. I mean, not weird as in creepy. Weird. I'm sure there was weird, creepy shit too. But the way that he tweaked with his public persona and the whole
He became a Jehovah's Witness, you know.
wasn't he a Jehovah's Witness to begin with?
Well, I think he was in the later years practicing,
Well, good for them. I mean,
like
you're-
Bible study and everything.
Good for you. You know, whatever floats your boat, whatever gives you, the ability to put up with bullshit.
Yeah, you know, there's the modern day. I call it James Brown thing because I know people, Corn, and we'll probably bring this up in our second episode. We're gonna talk about, dude. This seems like a Phil Donahue show. We're gonna talk about our early Oprah,
Early Oprah.
except for this shit. Yeah, shit, with my hanky. This is such a Georgia heat.
Hey, on the next one, can you wear Charlie on your face?
All right, we'll be right back, my fine feathered friends.